Hello, you handsome players. How are you today? Yes, another weekly video. It's 7 weekly videos in a row. My god, I'm becoming a constant YouTuber. Please, ain't it? Make me partner. I love your game. This week, I want to talk about my second favorite game mode, which is Fractals. Yes, it's still part of PvE, blah, blah, blah. But I really like raids and I really like Fractals. I do my Fractals every day. Why? Really good gold. That gold is perfect for me. I get to be rich as... Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. And also, I have a really good group of friends and I love doing fractals with them. It's really good. I find that fractals are much more challenging than raids, so it helps me get better at mechanics, at thinking fast, at adapting. It's a very good medium, but it's a very difficult medium. In raids, you can get easily carried if you're with a bunch of really good people. In fractals, if you have one weak link, you can feel it. If the CC is not on par, if the boons are not on par, if the DPS is not on par, it really hurts your group. So it really shows you and teaches you to be, okay, I need to be on top of things. Today I'm going to talk about the Healbrand. I main Healbrand or Revenant, supports of course, because my DPS always sucks. Yes, my ping, it's my ping. Yeah, Revenant, you always blame your ping. Yeah, well, try doing really good DPS with 350 ping without getting hit with every single mechanic in the game. I figured showing how I play Healbrand might help a few players. If you don't know how CMs work in Fractals, this might not be the best video for you. However, if you know how CMs work and you've always considered running a Healbrand but you don't really know how to do it, well, this is a guide for you. Once again, please be aware that this is my way of running things. It's not the highway, it's not the ultimate truth. I am not, I may be a fractal goddess, but I'm not the god of ultimate Healbranding rules of Healbrand, blah, blah, blah. This is just what works for me. And please, if you have any suggestions to improve my gameplay, as long as it's said in a nice way and not, you suck, go back to blah, blah, blah. I will accept feedback. I like feedback, so please leave a comment down below. I've had really good feedback on my pushing video and I really appreciated those comments, so thank you for helping me improve. Let's talk about this build, and then I will show you 3 videos of all 3 CMs. The only thing that really changes when I do the CMs is those 2 skills, but I will always run the same thing. Feel My Wrath, it's your quickness giver, it's your fury giver, it's extremely important. Gives that to you and your allies. Mantra of Potence, same thing, gives quickness and it gives might. Very important, never take it off. And it gives that to you and to your allies as long as you're looking at them. I run those 2 skills because this CM behind me, the 100 CM, is a very heavy CC fight. A lot of players, when they come with you, especially if it's in a puck, they will not bring a lot of CC. So you will have to CC. The better CC, the faster the CC, the more really annoying mechanic you skip. But a lot of DPS players think that DPS is all that matters. It's not true. CC is very helpful. I always bring the Mantra of Solace. Why? It gives quickness, it gives blocks. When it gives blocks, it also gives quickness, and it gives blocks. Blocks are very important in Fractals because there's always 1 billion mechanics that would like to murder you and never let you get up. So blocks are the love of my life, especially with my hyping. Yeah, no hyping, blah, blah, blah. Anyways. Staff is obviously something you really want to run on a Healbrand. Why? Because this beautiful skill and power. It gives 12 stacks of might, all in one go. So it really gives most of their might, and then you just need to click on this 3 times, and bam, you have your 25 might stacks. Really good. Staff 2, Holy Strike, is a very potent healing. This gives swiftness. It's very helpful. I also run an axe. Why? Because axe has a little bit of CC, it has a pull skill, you can give some fury with the symbol, and you have a shield of absorption which can CC by knocking back your opponent or your boss. Pretty much it breaks the bar. It also helps really well with whenever you have an instability called We Bleed Fire, where everything and their grandmother spew fires on you and it really burns and it really hurts. You can block that because it absorbs the fire if you time it correctly. My build is fully area. Everything I run is area, but here the trick is that I do a little bit different. I run pack runes. Why? Fractals can be done without a healer, as I said earlier. Before there were healers, people did fractals. You don't really need a healer. So if you run a Healbrand, well, you have enough healing to start with, because you really don't need a lot of healing in fractals. If things are done correctly, pretty much the Healbrand is here because it gives really, really good 25 stacks of might, really good fury, really good quickness, and really good regen and protection, which is the main source of healing. And a lot of CC. So the Healbrand is not really the Healbrand part, it's the support part, where it gives really good boons, really good CC. Pack runes, it has a lot of boon duration as you can see, but it also gives some stacks of might, fury, and swiftness, which is really powerful. Because what happens is if you don't really run this, your might start dropping, first of all because you have less boon duration, but second of all because if you're not camping this on cooldown, your might will drop. However, because of that 6 rune and the boon duration, you're able to actually swap out of stuff more often, because your 6 rune will top up the might whenever you drop it, and the boon duration will make your boons last longer. So it's a win-win situation. This allows you to actually make more use of your F skills, which are very powerful skills, and to use your shield more often. When there's We Bleed Fire, you don't need to camp stuff, you can go to shield block the fire projectile. It's really helpful overall. Personally, I like pack runes. However, if you don't have legendary runes like me, and you only have one set of armor with Harrier, run Monk, don't worry about it. It's just know that you'll have to camp stuff and that stuff for a little bit more. Okay, now let's talk about the build. I run Honor, obviously, because Honor is really powerful, especially this trait. Pure Voice allows your shout to recharge faster, you have one shard, and also removes a condition. I really like this for Feel My Wrath, but I often run here and here another 2 shouts, which is often Advance, used to be called Retreat, gonna call it Retreat because I've lived with Retreat all my life. And Stand Your Ground, which gives very powerful stability and it's extremely helpful. This is just, every time you give a block, you give so many blocks, especially if you run this in Retreat. You heal. And then the symbol gives more protection. Protection is amazing. So, really powerful. The Firebrand trait line is always pretty much similar. You want all those 2 traits would give a lot of quickness. And obviously you want your tome to recharge faster because those tomes have some sexy skills in it. Sometimes you can run this instead of this because this gives us days, but I like to give quickness. Every time you use a heal skill, oh, look at this quickness. Now, Radiance is a trait that not everybody run. I run it for pretty much a couple of traits, this one and this one. This allows you that every time you enter your tome 1 and you use a skill and you're in combat, you give the Signet of Wrath. What does Signet of Wrath does? Well, it improves condition damage, but if you run this, pretty much this trait, you allow your allies to also have 1 Signet of Wrath every time you use your tome. Now, if you combine this with this trait, which you have to because it's one of the compulsory traits, every time you kill a foe, this recharges. So you pretty much reopen your F1 and bam, you can wrath it up again. I often run Bane as well because it improves power, but it's very good CC, very fast CC. And once again, this shares it every time you activate it, you share it with your party, and with Perfect Inscription, it has a reduced recharge. I like to have this build because it's healing, but it also gives a lot of boons and really prolonged boons, and it does support your DPS, especially since currently the meta is either Firebrand or Scourge. You have lots of conditions, so that Signet of Wrath is quite powerful. Now that you know my build, I'm going to show you how I do my fractals. I'll probably do a voiceover for the fractals. Okay, I'll do a voiceover for this phase, and then for the dark phase I'll put in writing. Here, no need to pre-buff, she steals all your boons, so all I do is give some swiftness with staff 3 to reach her faster. As soon as we enter combat, I give boons with Feel My Wrath, my mantras, and staff 4 obviously. And then when she rushes to the side, I'll use Sanctuary, Bane, and Shield 5 to CC her and get that exposed buff. We get the exposed buff, which means I enter Tome 1 to give Ashes and Signet, and we melt her away before she rushes back into the center. Here, before we split, I top up the boons. Once again, there's not a big need to retop them, they've already topped up, but I can do it. It's really good to run pack runes on this fight because you don't have to worry so much about camping stuff. So I swapped to Axe to maximize the DPS during this phase. And we managed to actually phase her and to skip an entire phase altogether. So then we go to the side, there's a portal in the center to go back to her much faster. And then when we reach the side, I pretty much heal my teammates, but also top them up so that as soon as we take the portal, they have 25 might, they have fury, they have quickness, they have everything that they need, and I can focus a little bit more on healing because you'll see as we take the portal, we lose a bit of a chunk of health from the burning. So as you can see, I keep using my skills to top up the burns. We take the portal, I'll heal, staff 4 to top up the might, but it does some healing, and then, well, I enter F1 to give ashes and the signet. We hide in front of the rock, because we can, and then as soon as shield rush, I'll focus on CC with Sanctuary, Bane, and then just topping up the burns. There's no really a rotation per se, as long as you know what you're doing, you know what skills do what. You don't really need to follow rotation, just use your staff 4 when you can, press your mantras, and then use your axe for optimum DPS, but also it tops up the fury. Use your ashes whenever there is a DPS phase by entering Tome 1 so that you give ashes and the signet. As you can see here, I entered ashes, there was no point because we phased her that fast. So once again, we'll portal back into the center, and because she's up in the air, I can focus more on healing, which is important during that phase because you take a lot of damage. So I'll focus on healing with my staff 2, but also my tome 2, skill 5, skill 4, and skill 1. And when I know that she's about to go down, I'll once again give boons using my staff 4, my mantras, my elite, because as soon as she gets back down, she'll rush to the side and we need to really CC her fast for 2 reasons. Number 1, to interrupt those very annoying tornadoes that rush towards us, and number 2, to get that exposed buff and maximize DPS. So here all the boons are topped up, I can focus on CC with Sanctuary, Bane, and Shield 5. And as soon as she CC'd, those tornadoes disappear, and I press F1 for ashes, and for the signet so that I can help my friend's DPS and melt her away. She rushes back to the center, but we've given her quite a bit of a beating, and then I top up the boons and split. Go back into the center, those really annoying lasers hurt my friends, so I heal with staff 2 and 3, and then I swap to axe. Why? Because more DPS, and I know that my might is still on 25, I have plenty of fury and plenty of quickness. And that's it, we melted her away and now we can focus on the dark phase. Hello, Editing Rava here. This video was far too long for me to include 98 and 99, so if you really like this and you would like to see my POV on Healbrand, don't hesitate to drop a comment down below, and I'll definitely post a video for this. Thank you so much for watching. Don't hesitate to leave a like if you liked it, and it would mean so much if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm really trying hard with this whole YouTube thing, and I hope it shows. I'm also live every day on Twitch. I love streaming. I love my community. It's lots of fun, lots of memes, and lots of giveaways. In very wholesome, interesting conversation, I must say. And I've left down below a link to my Twitch, but also to my socials. On Instagram, I'm showing journeys of my body transformation. On Twitter, I talk a lot of shit, and I like it. And it helps me out if you follow me on those platforms as well. I also have a Discord. I left the link down below. It's a very wholesome community, probably the best community if I must say. Anyways, I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.